Welcome to Airmen's Moments, a sit-down conversation with Lieutenant General Maryanne Miller, Commander, Air Force Reserve Command.
Cut. Okay, that was a good take. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break and then we'll reset for Airmen's Moments.
I'm Senior Airman Rachel Chavez. I'm from the 446 ASTS out in Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington.
Awesome. I'm going there tomorrow.
I'm Technical Sergeant John Covington. I'm with the 860th Network Warfare Flight out of JBSA Lackland.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Second Lieutenant Alan Abernathy. I'm from Dobbins Air Reserve Base, Georgia.
Great to meet y'all.
You too, ma'am.
This is going to be great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. So before we go into Airmen's Moments, this is a rare time that I get to spend with you one-on-one, because once we get in there, the world's going to change, right? Bright lights, it's all going to be different. So while we have this precious moment, any questions you all want to ask me, I want to ask you some questions, but we've probably got 10 minutes, so let's take advantage of it while we can.
Well, ma'am, Vice President Pence recently visited Dobbins, and he had a lot to say about increasing the military budget. What can you tell us about that and how it relates to the Air Force Reserve?
Congress has been really good since sequestration, which was when we took billions, double-digit billions out of the defense budget. Since then, and it's still a law, the Budget Control Act is still a law, but Congress has been good about putting above that cap additional money for the Department of Defense, realizing this top line was not enough, we need to put more in there. So they've been really good about doing that. And within that, we've been able to recapitalize. We've been able to start growing the active component end strength back, growing our end strength back. Because over the years, when the budget was going down, we gave up airmen, right? Is what we ended up doing. So now we're going, we need to grow back in certain specific areas, space, cyber, ISR, making sure we have enough pilots, flying fighters, and the mobility aircraft to be and maintain the best Air Force in the world, which is who we are. The threat around the world is not decreasing. So, Vice President Pence was right. He goes, we're going to do the best we can from the White House position to give us more money, and we'll just see how that goes with Congress.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but Congress has been very supportive. You know, they're trying to balance that massive deficit that we have in the country, and how do you best get the financial house in order, and yet attack the threat that's out there every day, and make sure that we're ready to take on that threat.
So some of the recent buzz has been the ART to AGR conversion.
Mm-hmm.
So does any of the budget have anything to do with this?
No, the budget doesn't have anything to do with this. The AGRs are actually a little more expensive than an Air Reserve technician. The conversion has to do with a couple things. What is the best full-time support for each mission set? For example, in space and cyber, a lot of that mission set is 24/7. Is an Air Reserve technician the right full-time status for a 24/7 mission? That's a stretch. That's a stretch. So what is the right by mission set, by badge wearer? What's your badge? What's your tempo? What is the best way to support that mission? And what is the right full-time support status? We're even looking at, within space and cyber and the ISR, slightly more full-time. Typically in a reserve unit, we're 75 or 70% roughly part-time, 30% full-time. It's around that 75-25 mix. We're looking in space, cyber, and ISR to increase that full-time piece just because of the tempo. And it's not going to decrease. Space, cyber, and ISR is a 24/7 mission, and the demand will be high. You still want a huge presence of the reserve component in that mission set, but we may want just a little more full-time there to provide best for the mission. So in each mission set, we are literally looking at each AFSC saying, what is the right mix of full-time, part-time, and then what is the right full-time? Is it AGR, ART? What's the right piece to put on there to make the mission most successful? And to recruit. Recruiting's a big piece of this.
Where do you see the reserve being in like 20 years?
The ops tempo will always be high. It's high because the Air Force is small. When the Air Force had 200,000 more people, it was easier. We were more of a strategic reserve. They wouldn't to us, so to speak, as much as they are now, right? So as the active component numbers have just gone down over the years, we have, in order to meet that demand, you've had to rely on the Guard and Reserve. So that's the tension there, right? So for us to go back to a strategic reserve, I don't ever see that happening. Why? Because we can't afford to buy all that manpower back to get back to that position. So if you look at the ops tempo around the world, the threat around the world, you can pretty much say this is what we see today is what is going to be into the future. So then based on that, the active component is going to grow back their end strength little by little. And as they do that, we will grow where we need to grow to support the mission. We don't grow to grow, we grow to support the mission with the active component. I see the IMA positions growing in the future, not by a great degree, but growing in the future, because I want to leverage that civilian experience, that cyber experience, that space, that ISR, that intel, all that civilian experience that is out there. I really want to leverage that, and the best way to do that is with the IMA force.
So, ma'am, regarding
Yeah.
the different statuses,
Yeah.
IMA, ARTS, TRs, should we look at those different statuses and maybe a change in status as a way to broaden our careers? And how can we view that dynamic and the opportunities that are out there?
Many opportunities out there. A change of status is probably necessary to continue on up in your career. If you want to, particularly if you want to become a general officer, a chief, you want to be a chief that on the joint staff or in the interagency or all around the different aspects of the U.S. government, you need to be able to change statuses. Because an Air Reserve technician, I can't put him at the State Department. You know, I can't do that. It's limiting. Some of the statuses are limiting. But what's not limiting is the fact that you can literally, I've been every status. I've been an IMA, I've been at Unit TR, I've been an AGR, I've been an ART. You know, so I have literally lived every status. I ran a restaurant, owned and ran a restaurant for 5 years. I was a TR. That was hard, right? That was hard.
Sounds like it.
So you need to be flexible. So going back to predictability, in order to be a sustainable reserve force, I need to provide as much predictability for our reservists as possible. Status change is important. It'd be nice to, you know, the active duty has an on-off switch. I'm on active duty or I'm off active duty, right? That's not how we work. You know, they get paid the day they walk on active duty, and they, you know, the pay stops the day they walk off. Our pay starts and stops every time. It's like the switch that goes on and off every time you change status, right? Every time you change status, it is a start. It is a start from square one, right? So we're trying to work that and try to make sure that's an easy flow from one status to another, so we don't have those issues. But and we're continually trying to work on that. But continuum of service means that you will probably change statuses if you want to go as long as you can go and serve in the Air Force Reserve.
So, ma'am, I'm prior enlisted. I joined the Air Force initially in 2004, and in that time, there's been an increased emphasis on PT testing. Is that going to continue to evolve, or do you think we've kind of hit a plateau in terms of that our program and the way it's carried out?
PT testing is very important for us as an Air Force. We will continue with PT testing. Will it be modified? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're going to make modifications to it or not, but we will always test every year. We will continue to do it, and we need to do it. It's important. Physical fitness is top on my list. It's important.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, places everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started for recording of Airmen's Moments.
All right. Thank you.